people gathered. On behalf of all Americans, let me also extend our warmest wishes to the people of India. I just spoke to your Prime Minister today. We had a great conversation. We talk about trade, we talk about a lot of things, but mostly the world of trade. He's very interested in that. Although we did talk a little while ago about let's have no wars with Pakistan. And I think the fact that trade was involved, I was able to talk about that. And we have no war with Pakistan and India, and that was a very, very good thing. But he's a great person, and he's become a great friend of mine over the years. In a few moments, we'll light the Diya as a symbol of faith in the victory of light over darkness. It's a beautiful term, light over darkness. That's what it's all about. It's knowledge over ignorance and good over evil. During Diwali, revelers recall ancient stories of enemies defeated, obstacles removed, and captives freed. The glow of the Diya flame reminds us to seek the path of wisdom and to work with diligence and to always give thanks for our many blessings. And we do have many blessings. Everybody in this room has many blessings. And even I will say, I'm not going to use the word fake news, I refuse to use it. The media has some good blessings. One of the blessings is that you didn't have to stand in the mud outside anymore. You know, you now have a beautiful stone surface, the identical color of the White House. For years they had to stand when we had press conference in the mud because it was grass, and I decided to take care of that, so I think they appreciate it. As we look back in the past year and really look up to the next number of years and hopefully decades and centuries, we've got much to be thankful for. And think of it, a year ago we were a dead country. This country was a dead country, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. These guys can testify to that because I know this. I watch their stock prices, and they're like rocket ships, right? Do they ever stop? Let's keep it that way, right? Let's not talk about it, right? Let's just keep it that way. It's amazing. We have more than $17 trillion. They're part of the reason. More than $17 trillion of investment pouring into the United States. It's going to be, I believe, over $20 trillion by the time the year's up. And as an example, the last administration had less than $1 trillion in a period of their 4-year period. They had less than $1 trillion. We're going to have 20 trillion. We have over 17 trillion already. That's investment coming in. And I think it's largely for two reasons. We had a good election on November 5th, but maybe more importantly, of course, it wouldn't happen if that election result didn't happen. I think much more importantly, we have tariffs that you build in the United States, you don't have a tariff to pay. You build outside and you have to pay a tariff. And we're taking in money at a level that no other country has ever seen. There's never been a country, I don't think, fellas, you agree with that? There's never been a country with an investment in less than a year, actually to be exact, less than 9 months, of $17 trillion, right? And I know you're all participating, aren't you, huh? So that's really good stuff. The economy is roaring, the incomes are rising, and small business confidence is at the highest level in over a decade. So the confidence levels, which means something, they think over the last 10 years, I don't think they go beyond that. We have the highest level of confidence in our economy. Gasoline prices are way down. Grocery prices are way down. Energy prices are way down. Mortgage rates are down. We have a real stiff at the Federal Reserve. I can't help that. But he's going to be leaving soon. And inflation has been defeated. But even though his rates are too high, the economy has been amazing. Our border is secure, totally secure. We had nobody in the last 4 months coming through illegally, which is actually hard to believe because, you know, they give me those numbers, but essentially it would be just about nobody. They actually say zero. That's actually hard to believe. You have zero when you had millions pouring across a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, but we have it down to practically nobody. And they are coming in, but they're coming in legally. And we're forging peace all over the world. We're putting America first. We're getting everybody to sort of get along. And I just got a call from the Middle East. We're doing very well there. We have many, many countries, as you know, signed on to peace in the Middle East, and nobody thought they'd ever see that happening. The Hamas situation, where they're pretty violent people, I would say, that we could put that out in 2 minutes. We're giving them a chance. You know, they agreed that they'd be very good, very straight. They wouldn't be killing people, and they have killed people. That wasn't the deal we made, but if they don't honor the deal, they'll be taken care of very quickly, but I'd rather not have to do that. But we have total peace in the Middle East. We have levels of friendship with everybody, and every countries that hated each other now love each other. Nobody ever saw anything like it. I think you guys are pretty surprised over here, right? You're surprised, but a lot of people are surprised. Are you guys surprised? Peace in the Middle East. You've been hearing about it for as long as you've been alive, and it's been a lot longer than that. You're still pretty young, but we have peace in the Middle East, and so as we light the Diya, we look forward to a new year and a greater peace and a greater everything for all of us. And we want tremendous success, tremendous health. We're doing a lot of things in the world of health, and the autism situation is just crazy when you think of it. And you go back 20 years, it was 1 in 20,000, and now it's 1 in 12. Is that hard to believe? When I hear that number, it's not even believable. And we think we're onto it. Bobby is doing a great job, and Dr. Oz, all of them, they're really working hard. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. And it's been a very important factor for me. I just say you got to focus on that. We think we have a lot of the answers. We've announced a lot of the answers, actually. But we're looking at many things. We've made tremendous progress. And maybe the thing we've done the best on is prices for our drugs. We have favored nations now, where other nations, as you know, were paying a small fraction of what we were paying. And this was, for many, many years, this was happening. This was set up 30 years ago, where we were paying 10 times more, 12 times more, 5 times more, always tremendous numbers more. And I said, we're not doing that anymore. And the drug companies have agreed, and the countries have agreed. Now, if I didn't have tariffs, I wouldn't have been able to get it. I said, well, if you don't agree, we're going to charge you tariffs for more than the equivalent amount. And amazingly, everybody agreed. So our drug prices are going to be coming down 100%, 200%, 300, 400, 500% in some cases. A pill that cost $10 in London would cost $120 in, think of it, $120 in New York, or any place in this country. A drug that cost $86 in Berlin cost $1,300 in New York and throughout the United States. So we're not doing that anymore. So we're just not doing it anymore. So I just want to, and I think that's going to be huge for our anything, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, anything having to do with health, because the drug prices are going to be coming down. And I tell the story of my last administration, my 4th year. I was so honored because I brought drug prices down. The first time in 28 years, prices were brought down by a certain amount. I'll tell you what the amount was in a second, but by a certain amount. And so at the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I actually brought them down. First time in 28 years that happened. And the number was 1/8 of 1%. That's all I said. But I was proud because first time it ever happened. And now I'm bringing prices down 600%, 700%, 900%, 200%. So I can't believe I actually had a news conference to celebrate 1/8 and 1/4 of 1%. But that was, you learned, right? So we're doing, and you guys know more about favored nations than anybody. So we're going favored nations, we're demanding it, and we've got it. And as you know, we had Pfizer, we had the big companies, they were all agreed or close to agreeing, but the countries have agreed to. Actually, the countries would be generally more difficult. If we didn't have the power of tariffs, they wouldn't have agreed. They would have said, nope, you got to pay 10 times more than we're paying. We were paying 10 and 12 times more than other countries for the exact same pill made in the exact same lab or factory. So it's an amazing thing. I think it's an absolute game changer. Nobody's ever even heard of a thing like that. And you'll see the results over the next year, year and a half, and I think it's great. So I'd like to ask a person who's really been fantastic. We'll ask a few of the people to say a few words. You're on international television, so don't get nervous. Cash, would you say a few words, please? You've done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be a first-generation Indian American whose parents lawfully immigrated to this country, and under your leadership, so many more millions of Americans are living that dream. And to celebrate it here in the Oval Office on Diwali, which you said, rightfully so, is a triumph of good over evil. It's just an incredible honor. It's incredibly humbling. Indian Americans around the world and Indians around the world are thrilled that you are such a profound leader in sharing this diversity with the world, and we can't thank you enough, and happy Diwali.
Great. Well, thank you, and congratulations on everything. And